Three, two, one, and we are live, guys. What's going on? Welcome back to the Qbox. My name is Nelson.
And I'm Devin.
And yeah, welcome back to our show. We've been working on some pretty cool things these episodes, and we're excited. So thank you guys again, whoever's tuning in for the first time, and whoever is brand new to this podcast, definitely do us a lovely favor and subscribe to this podcast so that you could be notified every single time we upload a new podcast. So definitely stay ready for that. How you feeling today, Devin?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good, man. What is it? Wednesday, right? I had to think about it, man. So I know you're 6 hours. You're 6 hours ahead of me, so I always got to remember what day it is. So
how's the weather in Detroit at the moment?
It's pretty nice. So I know yesterday was I think it was maybe 70-something degrees. So we're still getting some of that summer weather. At least it feels like so. But no, it's beautiful, man. Nice. How's the weather over there in Germany, man?
It's actually the past 2 days. It was really, really nice, like 70 degrees. But then this morning it got really cold, man. I was like, oh, okay. But other than that, the weather's been really cool. It hasn't been raining, anything like that. So yeah, good times.
Yeah. Yes, good.
You
don't need a jacket yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that you're on the other side of the world, and I'm on a completely different side of the world. We're literally seas apart.
Yeah, sometimes I always tell you when I'm speaking to you, I'm like, man, I feel like you're in New York. I'm just like, oh, that's right. I got to remember he's in Germany because it throws me off.
When does it hit you? When did it hit you that man, he's actually in Europe?
You know exactly what I'm gonna say, but it's when you start speaking German, and I'm just like, I'm like, what in the world? I'll be on the phone with you, and you're in the grocery store or wherever you're at, and you're speaking German. I'm like, okay, he really is in Germany.
Yeah.
So it still blows my mind, and I know you told me to download an app so I can learn some German. So I got some homework to do before I get over there.
Definitely. To be honest with you, I'm always pretty shocked myself. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm Puerto Rican speaking German right now. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you can learn any language, so which is awesome.
Definitely. I don't know, something just sparked my my mind right now. It was a childhood something remember we was in New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were, I think, right there near Castle Hill Avenue, somewhere in the Bronx. We had made a lot of friends, brand new friends, and a bunch of kids. Everybody seemed to be really gravitated towards us. I noticed that was pretty cool.
That was.
But yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, we went to go play basketball, and then we came back.
We had to play basketball because I love basketball, so we had to do.
Of course.
And make sure we did basketball and music. So
exactly, and so then we went back to the block. That's what they would call it over there, the block. And I remember we were in this near in this big opening of when you walk up into the entrance of the building. It's almost, if you remember, doesn't it kind of look like a stage a little bit almost?
It does.
Isn't that crazy?
It was a big stoop. So basically that stoop was our stage every day.
And I remember we had gathered all the kids around, and then it started getting really dark, and then I don't know what was it, but I think we just started singing, and then everybody just started getting excited into the vibe with us. And how did that song go again? What is it? I can't remember the song.
Oh, hold on.
You're gonna show them? You're gonna show them?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't ready for this, man. So
okay.
I think you're talking about. There's a lot of songs you and I used to sing and still sing. So,
that's
but
crazy.
You're probably talking about "Beauty" by Drew Hill.
Man, you got to refresh my memory. I forgot.
Yeah. So let me see if I can remember the lyrics. So I'm gonna give it a go. So forgive me, guys. He's
about to do it.
if I don't know all the words, I'm gonna give it a go. So all right, here we go. Here's the deal, though. If I start it, you got to sing the next part, man. So
I hope
so. I'm gonna challenge you too. So hopefully you know what comes after what I'm gonna sing. So.
I hope I don't forget the words, man. Okay, we'll try. We'll
give
Guys,
it a go. So.
This is 100% improv. We have no idea what we're doing right now, but we're gonna try. So
we're gonna
enjoy the realness, honestly.
We said we were gonna be vulnerable. So hey, we got to give you all of us. So all facets of it. So here we go. So let's see. Sorry, didn't notice you then. Then again, you didn't notice me. So we'll remain passers-by until the next time we speak. I hope that I can make you mine before another man steals your heart. And once your beauty is mine, swear we will never be apart.
Walks by me every day. Her love are the same. The woman that stole my heart. And beauty is her name. I hope that I can make you mine. Or another man steals your heart. Once your beauty is mine, swear you will never be apart.
I think that's how it went, man.
I think that's, oh, snap. Yeah, I think that's how it went. Yeah.
Still sound good, brother. Still sound like we 12 again.
Likewise, man. Just a little more grown. That's it.
Right. Just a little bit more bass. You know, God knows my voice. So,
oh my gosh, guys! Again, this was definitely improv. We didn't plan this, just kind of on the whim. And forgive us for any pitchy moments. But this is how we are. We're just having fun.
How we are. Just having fun, man.
That's all it is. So
you got to enjoy life, man.
Definitely, man. Yeah. So, it's very interesting because, as a musician, there's so many cool things and cool ways to kind of get yourself out there. And I remember like 15 years ago, it was just like, you have to be in front of the label and you had to kind of just, knock on the door, give demo tapes. And like now, dude, it's just so interesting. What platforms are available for the independent artists, and you technically don't even, need a label at this point. It's kind of crazy, but it definitely is definitely something that I utilize a lot now more than ever. Like, and I definitely believe if you have a solid marketing plan, anybody can make it in music, So what have you noticed, by the way?
So yeah, I would say I completely agree. I never gave out any demo tapes, but just the evolution of promoting music, has changed drastically. Again, we can both remember, as well as many around the world can remember, when you went into a music store, put your headphones on. Obviously, I remember when it was cassette tapes. Then eventually went to. I mean, of course, there's obviously vinyl, but I would say in our era, for our age, definitely was the cassette tapes that moved into CDs, and having the ability to go in and just that euphoric feeling of waiting for that album to come out. Remember seeing MTV and BET and VH1, you see all these album releases and obviously everyone's going crazy around the world. So it's just that experience. I guess both of us, I'm pretty sure we could say, definitely happy we grew up in those times, because it wasn't exciting. Not that music isn't exciting. Music is still very exciting, but to have that experience and, just go to the store and you're waiting and you put on the headphones like we're wearing now and you listen to a couple of tracks. But I would say, what's changed really is the social media aspect of it.
I guess that brings me to a question when you say that. Can you explain like your feeling on the different types of platforms that are out there? How do you feel about them, and particularly in terms of how it relates to music or just any art form that you want to express with your audience, for example? What do you feel about that?
Yeah. No, I would say, and I know this, we've talked about it before, but I'm fairly late to the game, in terms of social media user, so which I do love, I would say actively I've been using, at least probably Facebook, on a consistent basis for the last 4 or 5 years. Instagram, I've becoming a little bit newer to it. I've had it, I think maybe about 2 years now, but nothing, or a little over 2 years, but nothing that I've been active on. But I am definitely seeing, having the ability to promote our podcast, the differences, between, a Facebook, a Twitter, and Instagram. And I guess those are the three that mainly stick out to me right now.
Is there anything like good or unusual or something, about social media that you like or maybe dislike, or basically are you neutral about?
Yeah, I would say the pros are, and this you can even shed light on, is the ability to, as you mentioned, promoting, whether it's music, comedy, maybe maybe you're a model, whatever it may be,
Right.
the ability to promote these things and gain followers. I would say the major pro is having the connectedness around the world. Because that is an amazing experience. I mean, you're able to connect with someone from, like ourselves, Germany to the States, from the States to Australia, Australia to the Netherlands, I mean, it goes all around the world. I mean, and it's instantaneous, and that is the cool part, because you can put something out there. You and I right now, we can put something out there, post it to, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, boom, it's on there immediately. But what I will ask, and this question's coming to my mind right now, again, you've been a user, of these platforms longer than me, all the way back to MySpace and Black Planet, which I know, as I'm saying that now, a lot of people is ringing bells.
You said Black Planet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Black Planet. So I never was on it, but I knew of it, so I just at that time just never had it. But
I wasn't really active in that one either. Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah, but no, I do remember it. So, but for you, brother, like how has your experience been, becoming an independent artist, eventually, how's that experience been for using these platforms to promote your music?
Well, yeah, I think that's a great question. When I first started, it was back in 2005 when I got my first record deal. I remember graduating from high school and having the opportunity, hey, am I going to go to college, or am I going to go full force into the pro leagues of music? And I figured, an opportunity like this comes once in a lifetime. I could always go to college. And so I went straight to New York, and just the whole process, I would say, just recording the music and then just marketing it. Back then, we didn't really have so many social media platforms. And not to sound old or anything like this, but it's I'm making it sound like back in 1955.
Right. Well, you look damn good if you were born in 1955, man. I tell you, I don't know what kind of cream you're using for your face, but I need it.
It's that, yeah. That's funny. No, but it's back then we didn't really have many options. We had literally what you said, Black Planet, Mi Gente, but it wasn't really. Oh, Mi Gente, you remember that one?
No, I don't. You just taught me something. I told you I didn't know. I told you I didn't know.
It was literally the and quote me if I'm wrong, guys. If you guys know something, definitely comment below or leave a message regarding that part of the podcast. It was literally Black Planet, and I think they were like the same mother company or conglomerate.
Okay.
Because the interface, everything was exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
it's like using the same template.
Exactly, they literally used the same template, at least from my point of view. But that was super funny. But I didn't really get heavily into social media. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest with you. When I got my first record deal, I'd say a year into that record deal, I had the opportunity to work with an incredible producer, singer, entrepreneur. His name is Ryan Leslie. Pretty sure a lot of you guys do know who he is. Super successful, has worked with everybody in the music business. And I had the opportunity to do 3 records with him, and it was the most phenomenal experience. Within that process, and he definitely didn't have to do that. Ryan was like, "Hey, Nelson, are you familiar with MySpace at all?" I said, "I have no clue what that is, And so he basically, to make a long story short, because we could talk about this for days, he basically said, "Hey, look, this is MySpace. This is where you're going to promote your music stuff, and and just get yourself out there. Also, if you can, record your process, document your process, get really into the groove of being in front of the camera and just vibing out and showing the world what you do. Transparency is something that is powerful in the art form of music, because it just gives access to your world, and I think any fan just really enjoys that 100%, because then they feel like they're part of that experience. So he really instilled that in me. Him and a few other mentors that I had coming up in the industry, but that was just kind of like the seed that was planted of social media for me in particularly. And so fast forwarding a little bit forward, I took that same initial seed that was planted, and next thing you know, there was other platforms that started becoming born. Then you had Facebook. I think that came a few years after that. Then you had and I might be missing a few platforms, guys, so forgive me on that. Then you had Twitter. Then you had YouTube really came hard, and
YouTube has been big.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just literally like one block at a time was just being stacked on each other, and you really were given a platform to be 100% independent. I mean, look at how Justin Bieber, for example, he started on YouTube.
Yeah,
this is social media.
You did.
I think from my understanding, quote me if I'm wrong, Devin, I think he was picked up by Usher. Is that correct? Usher.
Yes, if I can remember correctly, yeah. I think
okay.
I think he was picked up by Usher, which obviously, again, that just shows the effects of social media. And I can't think of any other. I know there's more artists than just him that have been picked up, off of just making videos, man. Making videos, continuing to be. I think the biggest thing that comes to mind, and I know you can attest to this, is consistency.
Oh yeah.
And having the consistency, and I think just touching on that, how can you shed light, how you've been consistent, to still remain relevant as an independent artist using like these social media platforms. How does that look for you?
Well, you have to stay inspired. I think if you stay inspired, if you're true to yourself musically, I think the inspiration never dies. It's like a candle that never gets lit. The fire never gets put out. You have to stay inspired. You have to stay informed musically, and and you have to go with the times. But I think really for me, the motivation that helps the consistency is that it's definitely being inspired always by artists that are in tune with how I perceive music, from an artist standpoint, thankfully along the way, I when I first started, I was just singing, so, and I played a little bit of guitar and
I still need to learn that. You got to teach me that.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And a little bit of piano as well. But then I just said, you know what, I have to, I had a lot of great mentors that were phenomenal musicians. That were in my camp when I was, sort of developing prior to, to getting the record deal. By the way, I was signed with Bad Boy Records, so I was working with Puff Daddy.
Blew my mind when he told me that when I first found out about it. I was like, I thought it was lying until I saw him in a video. I was like, okay. I was like, oh, nope, this is real.
Which video did you see me in?
It was the Nasty Girl.
Oh,
yeah, with Jagged Edge. What is it? Nelly, I mean Biggie.
Pharrell was in there too. Yeah,
Pharrell was in there. I mean
Usher too. Everybody was in there.
Yeah, I mean I remember I was watching Fat Joe. I remember I was watching 106 in Park. That's exactly what I was watching, and I knew Nelson was working hard. To get signed. But there were definitely gaps in time. And when I say gaps, a couple months here, a couple months there, where
right.
I didn't know what his progression was, to getting to where I knew he was trying to go. And I'm sitting here watching 106 in Park, and I'm like, okay, anyone that knows, even though it's not on anymore, they would always do like a world premiere, new video, new song coming out. And I'm not thinking anything of it. I used to watch it faithfully because I love music, and I love, music videos.
We were both hooked to that. I remember that.
Yeah, millions were hooked to it, MTV, whatever, station you watch. But yeah, I'm looking at the video, and crazy enough, Nelson, in my opinion, looks the exact same as he does in that video. So I'm just like, he had his hat on backwards, and I'm like, okay. The video starts going, obviously I didn't know the song, and I'm watching people dance, in the beginning of the video, and I'm like, oh, what in the world? I'm like, I'm like, was that Nelson? And it was almost like having like a desert visit, what I'm
going to do?
That blur.
I'm going to pull. I'm going to try to find a video, and I'm going to show the people here.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah, you should do it. Yeah, you should do it. So, as I continue to watch the video, I realized it was Nelson, and there was a shot where he's holding a guitar, as they call it, a cameo, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, okay, this is crazy, and from then I reached out to him. And he purposely waited to tell me because he knows how we watch videos. he knew that I was going to see that. So I was like, oh my goodness, man. He's like, yeah, I'm signing the bad boy. I'm like, this is crazy. So again, just
it was so
really
sweet.
cool experience. You know,
Yeah.
we were able to share together, that he was able to share with me. Let me restate that better. But yeah, just really cool in his journey. And me learning about it, and being alongside, you know, over the phone, and eventually, you know, through video calls, just to, you know, see him work. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know, and during that time, I only knew the guitar. Played a few chords on the piano as well. Like I just was really at the basic level, just able to create, you know, only, you know, ideas and things of that nature. But then I said, you know, I became really hungry. I said, you know, I really would love the opportunity to master my craft. And, you know, anybody that knows, there's this book called 10,000 Hours, I believe it's called.
Okay.
I'll get the title of it and I'll, you know, confirm that. And, you know, but it basically says, you know, in any craft that you have, anything in life, it doesn't matter what it is. Okay. After you put in 10,000 hours of flight time in it, we'll just say flight time for the sake of, you know, metaphorically speaking, you know, if you put over 10,000 hours into a craft, that's when you start to master it. And I was just really determined and hungry and, you know, humbled by the wealth of, you know, knowledge that was there to be learned musically. And I'm being humble, of course, but I'm like really literally at the tip of the iceberg. I'm not even touching my greatest potential as a musician. And I can say that now. I've gotten closer. But I said, I want to be great. I want to learn how to edit. You know, I want to get into video. I want to get into, you know, creating my own productions. And by the way, guys, I have a single that's coming out October 1st. It's called Way to My Heart.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, thank you, man. And guys, it was such a pleasure to create this piece. Straight from the heart, you know, blood, sweat, tears, real life experiences. And, you know, I'm definitely excited to share that finally with the world come October 1st.
Yeah, so definitely download that. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. So
definitely.
I mean, I still get chills when I hear my brother sing. So
thanks, man.
And he knows, you know, we both keep up with one another. Or I try to keep up with him, you know, because I don't sing.
It's always a friendly competition.
Oh yeah, it'll never die. You know, I can't let him one up me. But yeah, but it's always nice, you know, when he can, you know, I'm thankful, you know, as his best friend, that I can sit back and, you know, see what he's doing, you know, and, you know, he's teaching me what he's doing behind the scenes, and I'm getting to see the raw and unedited, you know, things that he's doing, you know, so it definitely is. It's a lot of work, but as I say, anything that you're passionate about, you know, you put in the work, just like we're doing now, you know, with this podcast, you know, we have a long-term vision, which will happen. But again, we have to put in the work. So yeah, Absolutely. But it's definitely, it's a fun ride on both ends, because like I said, you know, I'm able to see his journey with the music, and then we're able to have this journey together, you know, with the podcast. So it's like, it's just, it's an awesome experience. It's an awesome experience.
And we have to thank social media for that. There's, you know, social media plays an enormous role in that process, because, you know, what else would we be using?
Correct.
To be here to speak with you guys and all over the world and just kind of share our journey. I think that's you know, that's social media for you. But I have to be honest, you know, when there's good, there's also bad, you know. So like,
right. It can be common. So.
Yeah. Anything unusual you notice about, like, what's changed? If there could be one or two things you could say that's changed about the way we are using social media in 2020 compared to 10 years ago, what would you say that'd be?
Yeah, I think immediately what comes to my mind is just the human interaction. Okay, so that's what comes to me immediately.
Explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, as much as we're connected, you know, it's an interesting way it works. You know, as much as we're connected via social media, you know, we're also disconnected. You know, so you know, you'll hear people say, you know, disconnect from your phone. You know, which is, I'm guilty of it. You know, where I go to sit down somewhere. Granted, I'm a people person. You know, and I know you are too. So I have no problem speaking with anyone, anyone that knows me and hears my voice on here. Like, oh yeah, he's right. Like Devin will speak with anyone. I don't care who it is, you know.
Is there anything you personally experienced that you've like, well, that was different, you know, like?
Oh yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. Like you know, you could be, you know, let's say for instance, I'm out walking or something, you know, and not that everyone has to talk to you while you're walking, but there is that. If no one has their phone in their hand, for me, I don't have to have my phone in my hand. I'll say hi, you know, if you're crossing by or walking by, and you'll see a person like, oh, they'll look me in the eyes and they'll look down real quick and they're like, nope, I got to pull out my phone. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, that was a little weird. I'm like, but it's okay. I'm like, if you would have said hi, I would have said hi. It's okay.
It's almost like their comfort zone or something. Like when
it is. It's a digital pacifier. That's a phrase that I've heard. I did not coin that phrase by any means, but I have heard, you know, that it's a digital pacifier. And like I said, everybody can be guilty of it where you do. It's just natural inclination to just, let me pull out my phone. Let me just, even if there's nothing you're looking for, it's just like, let me just pull it out and see, you know, what's on my phone. So you just, at that moment, you're almost putting a wall up, you know, around anyone that's around you, you know?
I guess for me, what I've noticed, I mean, I think it's also affected the dating world a little bit, huh? Well, because back in the day, like I was so used to, like, you know, the traditional walking up to somebody saying, hi, how are you? Right. My name is Nelson, blah, blah, blah. But like now you have these apps, we don't have to name them, of course, but you know, where you have to swipe left or right. And it's just like, you know, that determines the fate of whether or not you can meet the person or not. And I'm laughing because it's kind of like you're on the hot seat, like, nah, I'm good, you know. You throw them out to the universe, you know. It's kind of crazy, you know.
Right.
And for me, it's kind of like social profiling, you know. I think it's a bit. Right. I think it plays a disadvantage for both parties. I would say it's you know, because you have the person that potentially is that great person that could be the one that you possibly fall in love with. Who knows? You never know. Of course, you never know.
Right. Exactly.
And then, but because you didn't like the way he smiled, or you don't like the way she's, you know, it made her face in the picture. It's just like you write them off.
Right.
It's that simple. You know. Isn't it true though? Have you noticed that as well?
No, it's absolutely true. I mean, like the funny thing is, I'm not saying that people don't read like the bios or whatever you want to call that, you know, where they got a question and they're answering the question or whatever the case may be. But yeah, we primarily are focused on the exterior. You know, without the opportunity. And I know obviously that's the only thing you can focus on at that point, you know, so I can't focus on the interior because I don't know who you are, you know, but at the same rate, if you were to match someone and you start that conversation and maybe they spell a word wrong, you know, or maybe it doesn't go together, it doesn't mean that they're dumb, you know, it's just, they just, you know, maybe they have, you know,
don't get me started with auto texting.
Right. You know what? With autocorrect, and you're like, oh man, you know, you send it off. You're like, man, I did not mean to send that. You know, and it's like, well, he's stupid. You know, they're done. They then ghost you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this sounds funny, but I'm about to say I've gotten so good with auto text. Well, sometimes I'm just texting and I'm just like looking at, you know, outside and perfect. I didn't make a mistake. Like you visually just know it in your head and you're just typing away. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You know. And
right.
But it's very interesting. All these.
It is interesting, man. I would, you know, if there's anything I can encourage to the world is, you know, I feel like at times, you know, we all kind of, and it's natural as human beings, we all have a guard up. But I think, you know, maybe, you know, if that person does spell a word wrong, or, you know, or the conversation, maybe, you know, pick up the phone. You know, I know we're old school. You know, if they do say, hey, let's meet in a coffee shop, granted, I know we got COVID, so obviously, you know, take precautions wherever you are. But at the same rate, you know, maybe give that person, you know, a little bit more rope. Okay. You know, instead of just, you know, pulling the rug from under them on both sides, you know, whether it be the male, you know, to the female to the male, because at the end of the day, you're probably swiping past people or ghosting people, as we say, you know, in today's age, that you honestly probably connect with, you know, but you would never know because you've already, you know, just said, nope, I'm done, and you think about it, once you get back out to the normal world, and I say get back out, you go to the grocery store or wherever, how much interaction is there? Meaning human interaction? None.
Right.
So what do? You go back to the dating apps, and
Right.
you're looking for interaction, but you're almost, it's almost becomes, okay, well, what exactly are you looking for? Because it's just, you're not even giving people maybe more than 1-2 texts, or even maybe they just send the initial text and you're like, no, I'm not going to respond back. It's just
Right.
like, okay. But again, you were focused on the exterior, those photos, and you didn't even get a chance to learn the interior. So
I think not to put ourselves on a pedestal, but I think we're all kind of guilty of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We've all kind
Not
of.
like I'm not. So yes, I'm just, as I say this, it's even kind of pointing the message back at myself. Granted, I do, and I know we're both the same. I try to give people a chance, because I know I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, so, and, again, you just never know. If anything, maybe make a good friend. Maybe it's not even a matter of you're dating this person. It could be, hey, you guys are just really good friends, and hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And, I think what's most important, just to add to that, Devin, is you have to be yourself. If you're yourself, can't nobody take that from you.
Mm-hmm.
No one can take that from you if you're yourself, because that's your true you. And, the way to do that is, not getting really caught up in the social media craziness sometimes, when, who has the coolest filter on their picture. And I mean, it's getting out of hand with the filters, but we can say that for another segment. But it makes people lose perception of reality. And, you have to just, again, to be yourself in a world where someone is always trying to make you someone that you're not, in my opinion, is the greatest accomplishment. And, you have to stay true to yourself, because I feel that's when you start to realize a breakthrough in terms of anything in life, whether it be a job, whether it be, an idea that you have to present to your, in front of a board of members, the next day. You have to be yourself and be authentic, so
100%,
but
100%. I couldn't say it any better. Be who you are, because we're all unique, and just remember that, just be yourself. I know it goes without saying, but I always say, I don't want to be anyone else, but I can learn. I can learn new perspectives. I like who I am. I'm very comfortable. But at the same rate, I am human. To where sometimes I need that. I'll say person. Which a lot of times is my in group, which is my family, and Nelson, which we're family. To kind of pick me up, and say, hey, you know what? Dust yourself off. You're all right. Just continue being you. But yeah, definitely. Never forget that. So,
just out of curiosity, like, that when you mentioned the whole human interaction thing, that really stuck out to me. How would you recommend celebrating the importance of human interaction?
I would say really just getting out, getting out and just meeting people. You know what I mean? I know there's an app called, and I actually learned about it through another podcast, but there's an app called Meetup, and I know millions probably know about it. I'm kind of late to the game, almost like social media, to where just try to get out and interact with people in person, and not say it's not happening. And I know it is a little tough right now with the COVID scenario.
Correct.
But at the same rate, try to, and I already said it, but try to let that wall down and just get out. Don't be afraid to say hi. Don't be afraid to strike up a conversation, because there's so many similarities amongst people, so it's like, standing in a room with people that are just looking at one another and no one's opening their mouths. And, once someone starts opening their mouths, like, well, whoa, I didn't know you lived here and we have this similarity, or, I didn't know you like, this type of music, again, it's just opening up, be open and be willing to receive. And again, I think learning new perspectives just helps you grow as well. So.
Yeah, I agree. I cannot agree enough. Yeah, so So guys, yeah, definitely, thank you for tuning in for episode 2. This has been I know this is probably a very interesting conversation you guys had the opportunity to join us on, but this is who we are, and we're going to continue again. Sharing our journeys and just having a good time. And I think, a little bit of conversation of old memories and sharing new ones it doesn't hurt nobody. So I think that's
not at all. We have a lot more memories to share. And then, like we even said in episode 1, even our own personal individual life experiences. So yeah, it's going to be fun. We definitely have a long trajectory ahead of us, which we're excited about. So
absolutely.
We're definitely excited about.
If you're new to this channel, please, I'll say it one more time. Do not forget to subscribe to our podcast. Show us love and support. We want you guys to hear our story. We want to share cool and informative things. We're slowly warming up, getting out of the jitters and it's going to get more and more fun as we progress in the later episodes. And yeah, we're just excited for that. So.
Oh yeah. We're very excited. So, and like you said, I mean, it's like getting on stage. You just get the initial jitters out, and the next thing you know, you're rocking and rolling. So, exactly. But like Nelson said, please subscribe. If there's any comments you guys have, if there's any topics as we get further along, like hey, we want to know a little bit more about this, on both our behalf, or if there's something we've already touched on, you want to know a little bit more. We're more than willing, if we can, to shed light, on more on a specific topic. So definitely don't be afraid. But as I said in the last episode or in our first episode, each week we're going to give you guys a quote of the day. Again, this is just something you can take with it, share it wherever you want to take it, and share it with someone. So, but the quote I have for you today is by a comedian named Milton Berle. Hopefully I'm saying his last name right. It actually it's pretty short and simple, but it just says, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Goes without saying. I think me and Nelson can attest to that with this podcast. So the opportunity for us to be in the same room is not possible right now, so we know how much, getting this podcast going is important to us, which we've already got it started. But we did not let that stop us. So what did we do? We built a door, so you want to shed any light on that, Nell?
Absolutely. And if the door is not there, again, just re-emphasizing Devin's point, create one, manifest it, thoughts become things. And, nothing's by chance. When something happens, that sometimes that we may feel like, is damn, why is this happening to us? We have to remember that, because I hear this often, why is this happening to me? And it's sometimes that's a misconception. We have to make life happen. This is, once you understand the law of the mind and just the whole manifestation theory, so to say. We'll just put it there. But I believe it personally.
Me too.
Yeah, it's very, very effective in your everyday life, and you literally can implement those thoughts, into things every single day. So yeah, if you, like Devin said, if the opportunity doesn't knock, create that door, open it, and then walk your behind right through it.
Right.
and watch things happen.
For sure.
Look what we're doing, guys. We could attest to that. I have. Devin has had many successes in his ventures along his life journey. I've had many as well. And look, guys, we're doing something very powerful now. And, we are going to rock and roll. I can tell you that. So.
Oh yeah. We're excited, even before, we started recording this episode. We're just, our motto is every single time, have fun, and I think that is just something that can be used throughout anyone, doesn't matter what you're doing in your profession. Just have fun, enjoy life, and that's the creed we try. There's a lot of creeds, but that's definitely the one that's at the very top. It's just have fun. So
definitely. So guys, with that being said, again, thank you for joining us on episode 2.
Yes, thank you.
For next Thursday, for episode 3, where we're going to dive into a different direction in terms of topic, but we're not going to, spoil any, you got to
save that now. You can't give them everything.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, we'll see you next episode.
Take care, guys.